Hello and welcome to another One Deck, One Reading, where I, Val, will be using one deck that's in my list of many decks to do a reading for you. This reading is going to be a general reading, so only take the parts that resonate that you can use in your personal life. Wherever you find this message, whenever you find this message, make sure it works for you. I also use this as a time to do a review on the deck that I'm using. So if you're interested in buying a new tarot deck and this one looks interesting, it will be in the description below, along with a link to how you found it, how I find it, how I found it, and how you might find it. That's what I meant to say. And the price that I paid for it, etc. My review will be throughout the reading. I will talk a little bit about whether I recommend this for new readers or returning readers and all of that good stuff. So I'll get into that message now. We're going to go ahead and cleanse first because that's important. I use Florida water and the knock method. Any method is fine as long as you feel good about the cleansing that you are doing. Okay, so I have the original Rider-Waite here. This is the standard size of a regular tarot deck. As you can tell, it is the original Rider-Waite design with some wear and tear from over the years of me using this deck. I'm also going to be picking up this deck and showing you that it is roughly the same size as well, the same thickness. Cardstock's a little bit thinner. I wouldn't recommend putting this cardstock next to any water or your wet drink during a hot summer because it might ruin or stick together some of the cards. So for my review, I will say point blank that this is a good deck and it's a useful deck for people who have been reading tarot for some time, but I would not recommend this for someone who might be a little bit clumsy and forgetful. I also wouldn't recommend this for first-time readers because even though some of the cards do have pretty decent ways of explaining themselves, not all of them do, because they are literally just to show off the different types of houseplants. For example, we have the Eight of Pentacles here. The way we know this is a pentacle card, because it does say 8 of potted trees down here on the bottom. It has a pentacle symbol at the very top, so please pay attention to symbolism if you're first time reading these cards. Wands are here. I believe we passed the swords. These are cups. The numbers here are the major arcana, and the swords are at the top. I do use this deck quite a bit because it is easy to shuffle. It's also pretty easy to read because I have been reading tarot for some time now. But if I had gotten this deck when I was first starting out, I probably wouldn't have remembered what the cards meant. For death, I kind of feel like it's an easy indicator because it's literally death, but you also can't take it too literally when we're talking about the death card. Death card is death in the sense that you are kind of transforming and transitioning into new. You're letting go of certain things. You're announcing to the world that you want total change. So not everybody gets that kind of nuance through this deck. So just keep that in mind if you are a new reader and or you're still kind of practicing. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this message. It is a general message as I intended, so take it pretty much and put it wherever you see fit. Now, remember, if you see it as a love message, I don't intend this to be a love message, but do take what resonates with you and use it as it makes sense to you. And just remember that if you need more from me and you'd like to book a reading, they are open. I will leave that link in the description as well. And I guess I'll just leave it at that and we'll go ahead and get started on our message. So again, take what resonates and leave the rest. So sometimes the cards will come out one at a time, sometimes they'll come out two at a time, sometimes they'll come out three at a time. In this case, we have quite a bit of cards that came out at the end. We have the Ten of Cups on its side. I don't really want to turn it, actually. Something's calling to me saying, no, 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 leave it like this. So when you get a card that's sideways, I personally read it as transitional energy as well. I read it like you're in a good place, but I think sometimes you maybe don't always feel it. It's not always felt around you. Not necessarily because your circumstances are chaotic or bad in any sort of way, but because I think maybe sometimes the structure of how you're presenting to the world is just that. It's structure. It's not coming into the world with that joy that you're seeking from it. But let's not dwell on that for too long because we're going to want the rest of the message as well. Remember to only take what resonates. So for our cards, I'm going to just kind of try to angle them a certain way so we can see everything. We have the Five of Wands here. You have Wands. The Five of Swords. You have swords there. The Lovers, interesting, and Judgment. I'm going to actually put Judgment like this so you can still see that it says Judgment here on the bottom, and you can still also see the Lovers here on top. Interesting. So, point blank, the message seems to be that whoever needs to hear this has a really hard time maybe feeling connected with someone that they care about or the people in their lives that they care about, which may or may not be your fault. It might just be a mindset that you're not able to connect with. Maybe a fight that you had with someone, because we have Five of Wands being conflict, Five of Swords being separation after a conflict. Um, is sort of like you're of two worlds because you want to be in support of yourself, but you don't know how to be in support of yourself while also supporting the actions of another person that's led to this sort of judgment that's happening here with the Lovers and the Judgment card. I think it's really not asking who's at fault here, but if there is some sort of question in your mind, if someone owes you an apology or you feel neglected in some way by that person, I think there's kind of like that disconnect that you will always feel that way about that person, or this disconnect that the person that you love is now viewing you differently or you're viewing them differently, and not really with any context other than they have the Six of Pentacles here, this sort of like wanting to build a structure that actually doesn't need to exist. You don't have to feel as though you are giving somebody the opportunity to apologize, or that you're giving an apology in order to forgive a person. You're not you're not putting this person outside of you as if you're not equals. I think that this is like talking about a perception of an argument where it's caused you to feel like you two don't love each other anymore. And now the Lovers being here and the talk about loving each other can be very romantic sounding. And I want to be very clear. These are intended to be general messages, but I do get a sense that there is maybe something to do with a romantic aspect, or potentially a romantic aspect that was once you know, something kind of difficult happened and there hasn't been a lot of talking since then. So you're kind of at an odd end where you remember good things, or you have good memories with this person, you have good with this person, but it's just kind of become very, the conversation that you need to have with them had been neglected or sort of not happened at all. So I don't want to sit here and like promise communication from you or from this person, because if this is a situation that you feel like you have to be the bigger person here to be involved with this person, then that might be kind of a situation you're not ready to get involved in, because maybe you were already always the bigger person. But I also get the sense that because you've always been the bigger person, you're now seeing this person lower than you subconsciously, and I think that's why this is being here is kind of like you're accidentally contributing to your own sense of like what this is. So in order for you to not feel like you need to be you're not being the bigger person by reaching out and apologizing, you're not being the bigger person by reaching out and forgiving, you're not being the bigger person just because you're doing the bigger person thing, because the minute you have that conversation that you are being the bigger person, or feeling that way about yourself at all in any context, you're now putting someone that you love and should see as an equal in a further conflict because they're now feeling like they have to own up to you. And that's not something you do with the people that you love. Whatever they did, I don't really get that it was. I think that there's a lot of like, I want to say like whatever this was kind of did rewrite your relationship in some ways, but I think that the way that you're still dealing with it is continuing to rewrite it, and there's nothing that the other person can know how to do or that you can know how to do unless you start back from the beginning and go back and start over. So I don't really get that this is about rekindling a romance. I don't really get that this is about reconciling with anybody or that you're reaching out to anybody, and I want to be very clear about that. I get it's more that there is a mindset that you're being asked to involve yourself in with the people that you love as a whole, where you're seeing them equal to you because it's an equal shared love. And that the minute you're putting those eyes of conflict on this person, of the conflicts that you have not quite adjusted from because you haven't adjusted from them, they haven't adjusted from them, it's continuing to put you in a bad spot. If this person can't move on from a conflict that happened between you two and doesn't want to talk about it, that's their business. But if you can't move on either, that's also your business. You have to deal with it separately. And you guys can't really come together, whoever this is to you, and see it eye to eye until you stop recognizing, well, I didn't do anything wrong. It's them. They need to apologize. Because even if it is the case, you're still continuing the conflict in your mind by doing it that way. And that, in that sense, the conflict, original conflict, is still continuing. So for whoever this is for, change your mindset. Please work on that. Whatever it is, release it. I'm filming this the night before a full moon. Release it. Let it go. Any other messages I have for you involved in this are remember that you love the people around you. Remember that comes first. That comes first before any other bullshit. I know life is hard and people can be really ignorant and really stubborn and feel like they're fighting you on purpose, but they're not. Most of the time, the people who love you and don't recognize all the time when they are not being perfect around you. That is all. I don't know who this is for, and I don't really think it's for me, but it might be. So feel free to reflect on it if it is for you. If you're not ready to listen to it, you can bookmark it for later. If you want to subscribe, I would love that. If you want to like, comment, share, I'd also love that. Thank you so much for engaging and watching. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.